Okay, what is the employer identification number and why is it important? Well, if you are going to carry on business and employ other individuals, okay, that they are going to receive a salary in the business and they're not going to be compensated as co-owners. Well, in that case, you have to report certain tax withholdings, such as federal and state income tax and payroll taxes to the state and federal government. Well, the federal government has a federal employer identification number, and states generally have a state employer identification number that allow you to report and transmit these taxes to the IRS and to the State Department of Revenue in carrying on the business. Okay, so generally at the time of forming a business entity, if you form a formal business entity, you can make the election to go ahead and through the same process receive a federal or state EIN, or put in the application for a state or federal EIN. If you're carrying on as an entity that does not file with the state, such as a sole proprietorship or general partnership, then you'll simply have to call up the IRS or the State Department of Revenue, or in some states they have a process on their website. But in either way, you contact these entities and request an employer identification number so that you can adequately report the tax obligations, the payroll taxes and income taxes for your employees. Okay. Now, if you do not have any employees and you carry on business, say as a sole proprietor, you're still going to need to report your taxes. Now, in that case, you can simply use your Social Security number. So the employer identification number comes in, as the name implies, once you have employees. Okay, but until that time, it is possible to simply file whatever tax obligations, self-employment taxes, income tax withholdings, etc., estimated taxes for the business activity under your Social Security number. Now, if you have plans to grow and to have employees, it is far easier for accounting and bookkeeping process to simply go ahead and get an EIN with the state and federal government so you can keep up with your tax reporting obligations without having to make any changes in the future. And as a second point, as we'll talk about in a later video, it helps to go ahead and establish business credit or credit history for your business.